Each time we visit Las Vegas, Matt and I like to take a day trip and explore a new area. On this trip, we decided on Death Valley State Park. Death Valley State Park is located on the eastern side of California and is a land of extremes. It's the hottest, driest, and lowest park in the United States. Death Valley State Park is massive. With over 3 million acres of land, it's the largest national park in the continental United States. A lot of things you may want to see here are really spread out. It could be a couple hours between each attraction, so make sure you plan ahead so you don't have to rush. When we landed in Las Vegas, we didn't have much time, but we were determined to catch a sunset, so we headed to the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes, which was about 40 minutes away from our hotel. The Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes cover 14 square miles across Death Valley. The highest sand dune is about 1 mile from the parking lot. Walking in the sand can really take it out on you, so make sure you bring plenty of water and wear adequate footwear. We came at sunset and it was a lot warmer than we were expecting. If you're looking for a cooler experience, I would recommend visiting in the morning for sunrise. We spent about an hour and a half exploring this area. Wow, you're such a little dot in this camera. Hey, how'd you get up there? You gotta run hard. I'm trying. Wow, okay, it's harder packed up here. Wow. God, that was a workout.
My calves are on fire.
It's 6:30 a.m., day 2 of our trip, and we're heading back to Death Valley. We tried to get up as early as possible, but we did wake up at 2 a.m. yesterday and we needed a little extra rest. Our first stop of the day was Zabriskie Point. Zabriskie Point is an elevated overlook with stunning views of the Badlands. This iconic viewpoint is about a 1/4 of a mile walk from the parking lot up a paved hill. Like many of the spots in Death Valley, it's best experienced at sunrise or sunset. If you're interested in hiking and exploring more of the Badlands, there are a few options including the Badlands Loop Trail, the Red Cathedral, and the Golden Canyon Trail. We arrived at about 7:20 a.m. and spent about 30 minutes exploring the area. Approximately 30 minutes south from Zabriskie Point is Dante's View. A 1-mile round-trip hike with approximately 223 feet of elevation gain will lead you over 5,000 feet above the inferno of Death Valley. We really wanted to check this out, but there were a few things that were higher on the priority list and we were running out of time. This is definitely something we plan to prioritize the next time that we visit. Our next stop was Water Basin. Once you arrive at the parking lot, make sure you glance up at the hill where you will see a sea level sign 282 feet above. Here you'll find stunning views of the salt flats and surrounding mountains. To get to the iconic geometric shapes, you'll need to hike about 2 miles round trip, but trust me, it's well worth it. We arrived at Water Basin at about 8:20 a.m. and spent about an hour hiking out to the salt flats and exploring the area. The Devil's Golf Course is a vast landscape of jagged crystallized salt formations. We arrived at about 9:20 a.m. and spent about 15 minutes exploring this area. After you drive down the short gravel road, you can park your car and walk among the rocks, but make sure you watch your step. If you listen carefully, you will hear tiny pops, which is the sound of millions of tiny salt crystals bursting as they expand and contract in the heat. Artist Drive is a 9-mile winding road through colorful mountains and rock formations. There are a few stops along the way where you can get out and stretch your legs, including the iconic Artist Palette. It was about 10:15 by the time we finished exploring Artist Drive, and we decided to call it a day and start heading to Las Vegas. Let's go over some general advice for visiting the park and a few other tips to help you plan your trip. The entrance fee is $30 per vehicle, which is valid for 7 days. You can purchase your pass online at recreation.gov, or there are a few self-pay stations within the park. Make sure you have a full tank of gas before you head to the park and keep an eye on your fuel levels throughout your visit. There are 3 gas stations inside the park: Furnace Creek, Stovepipe Wells, and Panamint Springs, but expect to pay top dollar for gas in Death Valley. When we visited, the price of gas was over $6 a gallon. Cell reception is spotty. I have T-Mobile, so of course, I didn't have any service inside the park. Make sure you have a paper map with you, or even better, download offline maps before you enter the park. You're gonna wanna bring plenty of water, sunscreen, and snacks. Don't forget to bring a cooler so you can keep everything nice and cold. The temperatures in the desert can fluctuate drastically, so check the forecast and pack accordingly. Also, if you're planning on exploring at sunrise or sunset, make sure you bring a flashlight or a headlamp. So when's the best time of year to visit? You can visit Death Valley year-round, but if you're looking for moderate temperatures and planning to do longer activities, I would recommend visiting from October through April. Summer is a very busy time and it gets extremely hot, with temperatures often exceeding 120 degrees. Camping and hiking are not recommended during these months. Our recent trip was in April and it was almost perfect, but it did get a little warm during the day. We kept all of our activities and hiking under 2 miles to avoid being overexposed to the heat. There are a few hotel options inside the park, including Stovepipe Wells Village, the Inn at Death Valley, the Ranch at Death Valley, and Panamint Springs Resort. Outside the park, you'll find cheaper lodging options, with the obvious drawback of being further away. On our recent trip, we decided on staying at the Death Valley Inn, which is located in Beatty, Nevada. It was very reasonably priced, and it was only 8 miles away from the entrance of the park. Camping is always an option, but just know if you plan on visiting during the summer months, only a few are open due to the extreme temperatures. We had a great time visiting Death Valley. It's such a unique park and it truly feels like you're on another planet. We saw a lot of things on our short stay, but we'll definitely be back to dedicate more time to exploring all of the things that the park has to offer. If you guys have any recommendations for future hikes or different areas to check out, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in Las Vegas in my next video.